What is up, my people? How are we doing today? I was thinking about gaming. Um, well, gaming and boxing, because it came up. I was online. I believe it's Instagram, and and so you guys know that game. There's a game. There's a boxing game called Undisputed, I believe. It's either Undisputed or something like that. And it just released a couple of weeks ago, and or months ago, something like that. I really don't remember. But I know that it's been years. This game has been years in the making, and they were hyping it up because of the graphics and all of that stuff. How real the characters are, and how you could choose different styles of boxing, and all that good stuff. But one of the things that we're talking about in this post was that the reason a lot of boxers ain't in the game is because they're asking way more money than they're actually worth. And one of those guys, well, the guy that was in the interview, or they were talking about in the interview, was Devin Haney. So Devin Haney is not in the game, and he was asking a crazy amount of money. And the people, the developers are like, we can't, pay that amount of money because it's just too much money. It doesn't make any sense to pay for, especially Devin Haney. Like, let's be honest, guys. Most people want, to see Canelo, Mayweather. Mayweather is a big one. A lot of people have been wanting Mayweather for a while, but I believe Mayweather probably asks way too much. Um, and that one's understandable because we're talking about Floyd Mayweather. One of the best that ever did it. One of the best. And so you kind of understand where he's coming from, and you understand how that might never happen, unless he's like really, 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 really in need of it. Which kind of sucks because, you know, he doesn't seem to need the money. So why does he you know, just get like a lower price for this one um for this one time, so we could, we could finally see him in the game. But my point is, specifically for these other not so well known fighters, like Devin Haney. And I know to us he's like, huge, right? But to the rest of the world, he's not really all that. And nobody's clamoring to see him in the cover of any fighting games. Like especially boxing games, because we had Oscar De La Hoya back in what, Fight Night 2, right? And it's very important to people to get the fighter, that famous fighter, in the cover. Devin Haney was never that guy. He was never a cover guy. And a lot of these sports games, they make money off of that too, off of the covers of games. Like FIFA, for example. You could actually order different types of covers if you want Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi or whatever. They have alternate covers. Um, but what I'm trying to say is that the guy, especially Devin Haney, because that's the one that the conversation was about. He's not worth the money he's asking for. And the same thing happens in boxing. Where they price themselves out and ask for too much. Um, they just ask for too much money. They're not really worth that. They're not bringing in enough people to the table, and the gaming industry has to realize that too. I mean, they do realize that, and they see um that these guys ain't worth what they're asking for. Now, if Devin Haney was somebody that brings a lot of people to the game and has a big following, then they'll pay that money. Like that's why they pay Canelo the extra amount of money, because they know that he brings people to the table. You know, he brings the whole country. The whole country is probably gonna buy that game because he's probably gonna be in the cover. And there's not a guarantee here in the United States with Devin Haney or with any of these fighters that believe that they're, you know, worth all that money. You know, and the thing is, we don't have like, we do have international stars, but most of them are like in basketball, baseball, even, and boxing, not so much. You know, but this brought me to answer that question, and that the video was about, and somebody said, you know, what why you think, because it's this mentality is affecting both the gaming industry and the boxing industry, which is a kind of like a hyper capitalist type of mentality. Because to make games, especially here in the US, to make games, it's extremely expensive. It's getting more and more expensive each day. You know, and it seems like that's not a problem in other countries, which is why, in my personal opinion, it seems like gaming is failing here in the United States because of that. You know, because uh, they forgot why. I feel like here in the US they forgot why they're making games. You know, and they kind of, they're playing it too safe, and not just playing it too safe, but I don't know how to explain it. Like you get to a certain point when you're making games. Like for example, um, the best example of this is like EA Sports. Okay, EA Sports, they put out almost the same game, you know, for FIFA, and it may have changed. I haven't played it in a while, but I started noticing that, you know, they're just giving you the same game just with a little bit of better graphics, and there's not really much that changes within each game. You know, and the people keep buying it. I don't know why, but they just keep buying it. But little by little, you start getting people falling off. Little by little, they start falling off until. But the prices of making the games are getting higher, right? But the people are falling off because you just keep putting out crap products with just. And it's the same thing with like iPhones. And I'm talking about iPhones because it's related, because it's the same thing. iPhones can come up with new models, but it's not really nothing different in it. There's no new features. Maybe there's one new feature, but it's not even worth it. Um, they try to say you sell you AI when really AI is pretty much Google. Um, it's all marketing products to like trick people into buying the same shit, you know. And that type of mentality is rampant here in the U.S., which is the mentality that you want to do less overall to get more, you know. And that's what these products are starting to do little by little. How much can we get away with? How much can we get out of these people without actually doing anything at all? And that is the mentality of the way gaming works, and not just gaming, but pretty much everything works here in the US. That's not a good mentality, because you're making art secondary, especially when it comes to something like gaming, you know. Yeah, gaming and making movies. So movies are kind of still hanging on, right? Here in the US, we're still pretty good. We're not that good, but we're still pretty good. But when it comes to gaming, it seems like we're taking a big hit here in the US. Most of the top games right now are coming from Japan, China, and even some of the European countries. But here in the U.S., we're still stuck. We got stuck on trying to move that needle, and we forgot about the passion of making games. We forgot about innovation. We forgot about. It just seems that way to me. It seems like we got stuck on this mentality of how little can we do and still make more money. And the people just, I feel like a lot of people are just not falling for it here in the U.S. The other thing about the U.S. is that it's extremely political and polarized, and it's very hard to please anybody or to put out a product without somebody getting their butt hurt about something they see that insults them in some kind of way. And I'm talking about both sides, because here in the U.S. it's so toxic that they can't even see a black person because they think it's what do they call it, DUI or something like that. I forgot, I forget what the term is, but it's a political term that people use to not watch a movie or not play a game. And the same thing goes the other way around. If there's not any diversity, people start bitching about that. So it's both sides of the spectrum here in this country are killing the art. And like for example, the new game Black Myth Wukong. Um, it was a big hit. A lot of people picked it up. A lot of people played it. And a lot of people liked it. Some people didn't like it, but they just didn't like it because of the gameplay and certain things weren't, up to their standards in that aspect. But they still praised the look of the game and the storytelling behind the game, which is pretty good. Because if you want to, the main thing you're doing with a game like this is you're doing it for the character and for the storytelling behind the character. So the two main things within that game, in my opinion, was pretty good. Um, and I know some of you, what about gameplay? What about mechanics? That's important too. But if you could hit the mark with the storytelling and the character design, um, for most people, from the new type of players, not the old ones. The old ones, mechanics are number one for old heads. Um, they'll let you slide with that because some of the best games, the most popular games that I've seen lately are um, games that the graphics aren't even that good. It's just a guy who's walking around and he doesn't even move right. So I feel like the other thing about American gaming that's killing American gaming is the fact that we're obsessed with fidelity. We're obsessed with everything looking hyper realistic, and we forgot about the art. We forgot about putting attitude into, yeah, leaving space for attitude, leaving space for exaggerated faces, exaggerated poses. All of this stuff is worth way more than something that looks exactly like real life. Because if you, like I said, I've said it before, if you want something exactly like real life, just go outside. That's not, in my opinion, that's not what gaming should be used for. Um, and if you notice, a lot of the games, like I said, a lot of the games that are, you know, considered the best right now, or that are making a lot of even cult following, are games that don't really have high fidelity like that. They don't have like crazy, hyper realistic, um, graphics, and they look a little weird. Like for example, Street Fighter 6, they kept it weird. They did do a little bit kind of hyper realistic when it comes to the textures of the characters and the hair and stuff like that, but they kept the weird elements from each character and exaggerated those characteristics. Kuma still has a big ass nose and still, looks like a demon. Um, Bison, changed a lot. But my point is, this kind of stuff this kind of, and the thing about it is that it's been pushed on us to sell us more products. This 5K, 6K, 20K, um, and they're trying to sell us the new TV that's coming out, so you could buy that, and it's like it's not even worth it. Like I'm already looking at the way gaming is going right now, and like the way things are getting overpriced. And probably next year or probably 2026, we're gonna get a game console that's gonna be more like 1,000 something bucks for sure. Especially since I saw the PlayStation just come out with a was it PlayStation Pro, PlayStation 5 Pro, and the only thing that's new about it is that it has um you're just gonna be able to play better graphics. It's really for streamers. That's what it's really for. It's for streamers because they have problems with like the bit frame and the it just slows it down and it starts cutting off and delaying and stuff like that. But this new PlayStation, that's pretty much the only thing you're gonna get. So for most regular people, they don't really care about that. You know what I mean? So um, if you're just gonna be gaming, you're not really gonna be worried about that unless you're, like I said, hyper focused on high fidelity and stuff like that. So, but my point is, this game is about what, like $800 for this new update that's just gonna give you. That's the only thing that's gonna give you. It's like it doesn't make any sense to me. They're just overpricing it and just calculating by that. And checking out patterns and stuff. I could tell you that in 2026 or at the end of next year, we're probably gonna get a PlayStation 6 or something. It doesn't even have to be PlayStation. It could be like Xbox, whatever they're gonna call it, Xbox Mega or something like that. And what's gonna happen is that they're gonna pull up the price to like 2,000 something. Maybe 2,000 is exaggerating, but it's definitely gonna be up there. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm not even gonna worry about new games like that unless they got something crazy that they gotta show me. You know, then I'm not even touching it. And I'm already preparing for that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy a Nintendo Switch Lite, and I'm gonna start buying all of these like fighting games and beat 'em ups and stuff like that. Kind of like old classic stuff that might get outdated in the future, and I'm just gonna play that stuff. Because I'm pretty much tired of um, all the shit. Like you gotta buy the new one, and you gotta buy this one, and you gotta buy that one. And when it comes to like what I like, fighting games are doing good. Because most of the good fighting games come from Asian countries. And we got some good ones too, but people here in the United States, they don't really like fighting games like that. They want something that um I don't know. EA Sports is still pretty big, I guess, here in the U.S. So that's kind of big for them. So for us, I mean, but you know, I don't even like those games because, like I said, it's just the same thing. It's just they just bring up the new one with better graphics, with kind of slightly better graphics, and that's about it. So that's my opinion, guys, when it comes to the gaming industry right now. So, and I don't even know if it's doing that bad. You know, I think it's doing bad because a lot of people talk about it online, and they could be just lying about it and saying that because like I said, it's political reasons. Like a lot of people that supposedly, talk about gaming, a lot of their motives, for it are political. But that's not the case with me. I really don't care as long as the game delivers and I'm entertained. That's really the bottom line. Whether the guy's black, gay, or whatever. Or the other thing I was gonna say, like the Black Wukong, Black Myth Wukong. They were saying that it didn't have diversity, but most of the characters in the game were animals. So it's like a stupid, you know, it's like a stupid argument, dude. Like it doesn't make sense. What do you? What, I don't understand, dude. Like what does that even mean? Like no diversity. Like it's monkeys, pigs, and rats, bro. Like what are you talking about? Um. But anyways, guys, that's my opinion. I think if the United States wants to better themselves in everything, because like I said, both industries, boxing and um, gaming, are suffering from this. Um, and not just those. Like there's other things as well. This is just an effect of what's going on here in the U.S. So to make games is more expensive here in the U.S. because everybody's trying to overprice their what they're doing so they can make more money. You know what I mean? And that's basically what everybody's doing. Everybody's trying to fuck each other over here. It's what it is, dude. And they're putting the art last. They're like, yeah, the art, we're not really worried about that. You know, that kind of mentality is killing the sport of boxing and the gaming industry as well. Um, so you guys let me know. Do you think gaming is? And I'm just talking fighting games. Fighting games, of course, fighting games are doing good. I mean, we got Street Fighter, and if you notice, even in that sense, the U.S. sucks because Mortal Kombat is the only American fighting game of the top four or top three, and it's doing bad right now. It's doing really bad. And that's the other thing, that one of the reasons I don't enjoy American fighting games is because um they just they just don't care about the they just don't care about it. They just don't. It just seems like, okay, what character can we put in, um which is smart, to attract more people. But the base game kind of sucks. Like for example, Mortal Kombat, and it's almost like a disrespect to the characters that they already have and the people that they already have following it. Um, and they're bringing out the new kids on the block so that they could come and take over. And that's not what Street Fighter did. Street Fighter gave respect to the old and brought in the new, and they did it in a very respectful way to both parties. And they even made it easier for the new players to come in and play as well. So I mean, you don't have to be one or the other. You could keep it balanced. Um, but let me know what you guys think, you guys. Um, can we bring it back on track? Can we make it about the passion of making games again? The passion of character creation, um, and the money, and just let the money flow. Don't even worry about it. And of course, people are going to be asking, how many units did you sell? You know, stuff like that, and that's fine. But they can't be the primary goal, because little by little, like I said, little by little, people are gonna start falling off, and next thing you know, you're gonna wake up and you know we're not gonna be the gaming industry anymore, because we used to be like, when it came to gaming and just computers in general, anything that had to do with software, the U.S., and it still is number one. But it's like we're overpricing ourselves, every single one of us. It's not just the boxers. every single one of us who are doing things in the industry, in boxing and in gaming, they're overpricing themselves. Um, and I forgot who said it. I know it was a rapper who said, "I don't want a lot of a little. I want a little of a lot," or something like that. I think I'm misquoting that. I don't think that makes sense. But I think you guys get what I'm saying. But anyways, that's gonna be it. See you.